Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Q of Eclectic Tarot, and today we are going to look at the natal horoscope of one Gavin Newsom. Yes, Gavin Newsom, the current governor of the state of California here in the United States of America. And if you have been in the social media streets over the past couple of months, I'll say, Gavin Newsom is a name that, he's risen to prominence, especially as it pertains to trolling. Right now, Gavin Newsom is getting so much praise for trolling the current president of the United States, one Donald Trump. And, he's giving the president what people are calling, the same energy, right? You know, whether you like the trolling, whether you don't like the trolling, if you are paying attention to the politics of the United States of America right now, okay, and this is being recorded in September of 2025, specifically September 3rd, 2025, you see everything that's going on, right? And me personally, I love being someone that keeps the same energy, right? Giving people what they give to you, it's only fair. It's only the right way to do things, right? Keep that same energy. So, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because, sometimes a good clapback is needed. So, again, we're looking at Gavin Newsom's natal chart, his natal horoscope. Um, because one of my subscribers asked me to look into it a while ago, and I just didn't feel like it was the right time to do so when that person asked me to. But I feel like the right time to do so is now. So here we are. And, just to tie it all in, Gavin Newsom is the 40th and current governor of the state of California. He has held this title since, I believe, 2019. And he's going through the positions. He was the 49th lieutenant governor of California from, I think, around 2011 to 2019. He was the 42nd mayor of the city of San Francisco in California, you know and he's also a businessman. He's known as being a co-founder, I believe, of the Plump Jack collection, which features a winery. So, he's doing the things. He's rising in the political ranks as far as California goes. A lot of people are feeling like he is currently someone to think about as it pertains to the 2028 presidential election of the United States. And again, people are really, really enjoying his clapbacks on Twitter, as they post them from the Gavin Newsom press office, to Donald Trump on Twitter. So if you want a good kiki, I would definitely suggest you and go read through those tweets. Go read through the clapbacks. Okay. Like I said, if you want a good kiki, go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So Gavin Newsom was born October 10th, 1967, in San Francisco, California. So he was born in San Francisco. He's the governor of California. He has really kept his political positions tied to where he's from, which is San Francisco in the state of California. He was born at 5:13 a.m., which makes this a night chart, and we can see that because the sun is below the horizon here. So he is a Libra Sun, a Capricorn Moon, and a Virgo rising. So the ruler of his chart is our buddy old pal Mercury down here. And his Mercury is in Scorpio in the third house. So as you can see, he has a lot going on in this bottom half of his chart. he has what we call a bucket chart. So most of the planets are, from here, here's his Jupiter in the 12th house. You got the other planets going on here. And you have the one lone planet here at the top, which represents the handle of the bucket, which is Saturn in Aries. His natal Saturn is retrograde in Aries. Okay. And Saturn returns happen about every 30 years. So he's getting ready to have another Saturn return, his second Saturn return into next year. So, like I said, he does have a night chart. So his sect light, okay, is the moon. Okay, his sect light is the moon. His most beneficial planet for his chart is Venus. Venus is here in the first house. He has Venus in Virgo. The most malefic planet for his horoscope is going to be our good buddy old pal, Saturn here in the 8th house. Okay, and his Saturn is retrograde. So let me just say that looking at this chart, my first energetic impressions are this is someone who is not afraid of darkness. Okay. This is someone who is not afraid of darkness. He was born into darkness with a night chart. And, I'm really, really focusing in on his Mercury that is in Scorpio. Okay. He has a scorpionic Mercury. And I'm just getting the feelings, the initiations, the impressions of this is someone who he's good with details. He's good with the fine print. But I think that you kind of have to watch what he says. You have to watch what he says. See, Mercury is our planet. Mercury can go anyway. Mercury is not good. Mercury is not bad. Mercury is going to tune into the energies around it, right? And Mercury is our planet of communication, of information, talking, data. But it's also, if you look back into the various religious, esoteric conversations, myths, legends, Mercury is our Loki. Mercury is a shapeshifter. Can you trust Mercury? Okay, Mercury is going to be that go-between. Mercury has no problem moving in between worlds, shape-shifting, okay, doing the things to get around. So, and just going back to his rise in prominence over the past couple months, with his clapbacks on Twitter, I think we're starting to see that, right? The communication style, the not afraid of dragging you to hell, okay, communication wise. So, but I'm just getting I get a lot of trickster energy from his chart. And again, his chart ruler, because his Venus is in Virgo, his ascendant is Virgo, Pluto in Virgo, Uranus in Virgo, and then Pluto is conjunct his ascendant. Okay, this is a straight one-to-one conjunction right here, all being filtered through Mercury, which is in Scorpio. Okay. So I really feel like Gavin Newsom is someone that knows what to say, how to say things to get people, to sway people to his side. I'm not saying that he's a terrible person. I'm not saying that he's out here being a criminal lord of the underworld. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, I think that he says what he has to say, and he knows how to choose his words wisely to bring various people in to support him. Okay. Now, his sun is in Libra. The sun is in fall in Libra. This is not a good place for the sun to be. Sun is in his second house. Um, I think a lot of people like him because of his Venus. His Venus is in Virgo, and he presents himself as someone that is a public servant. Um, I mean, honestly, if we're talking about political positions in the United States, those are positions of being a public servant. Someone that is supposed to care about the people, about the community, and do everything that they can for the betterment of their community, their society, their state, their city, whatever it is that they are um in that position of doing. But being a public servant, a civil servant, and again, I think this is why people like him, because Venus is our planet that is, it's a personal planet, but it is attraction, it is love, it is a sociable planet. And I think that's why a lot of people like him. It's in his first house of self, right? Um, and obviously we can see through his political career, he has been quote unquote a public servant for a while. Okay, lieutenant governor, governor, both of California, then his being mayor of the city of San Francisco. He's been in a public facing role for a long time. And I think that's kind of been baked into who he is public facing. Um, but Venus and Virgo, Venus is not really doing too well in Virgo here. I really feel like he is, and Virgo is a mutable sign. It's a sign that brings about change, and I can definitely understand wanting to be in a position where you think you can help make beneficial changes. But this is just me. I don't feel this from him. I don't feel it from him. I think he has a good mask. I personally think he has a good mask. Now, his Pluto is in Virgo. This is part of this is part of these the generation of people. What is it? The not the baby boomers, the next one, the Gen X people who will clap back, who will say some of anything. Okay, sometimes they have no filter, which is fine. But people who were wanting to bring about change, right? And when we're talking about, and these are just my astrological thoughts. When we're talking about Uranus, Uranus, the blue one here, and then Pluto, the red one here, and they're in his first house. Now, a lot of people are not modern astrologers. I'm both traditional and modern. I use the tools that I use to make a point. Um, and I'm going to do that here. Traditional astrology doesn't really, vibe with Pluto or Uranus or whatnot. But that's okay. That's okay. But being that Pluto is directly conjunct his ascendant. And then we have the power and the energy from Uranus right here in his first house. He is a born mover and a shaker. And I like to look at Pluto as similar to a south node, right? The emptying out, the ending process. And I like to look at Uranus sometimes as like a north node or like another sun, right? Um, where that energy for change and thing like that is going to come from. So looking at his first house, looking at his first house, he has the energy, he embodies, he exudes the energy of change, of being a disruptor, and people like that about him. So this is what it's giving. It's giving not only that, the Venus in his first house, he's considered to be good looking. Okay, he's considered to be good looking. He's considered to be an agent of change, someone who's going to shake things up. People really believe that he is someone that can do the job. It's not everyone. But again, if you are looking at, and you have to take a culture in its entirety as well. And we live in social media culture right now. There are people that are for him, there are people that are against him. But right now, okay, it seems like a lot of people are for him, especially because he's using his communicator, Mercury, to quote unquote clap back at Donald Trump. And right now, a lot of people are in their feelings and they are fine with clapping back because they feel like the social media posts of clapping back at the current president, Donald Trump, in his second term as president, is doing something. Okay. This is not to offend anyone. I'm just explaining the energies. Okay. So, with that being said, let's move along. I kind of feel like a lot of who he is as a person occurred during his childhood, during his formidable years, right? I don't think his father was there. Saturn, sometimes people look at the sun as being the father or Saturn being the father. I think it really depends on the astrologer you're looking at it. But a lot of times, me personally, I look at Saturn as being as the father. I don't think his father was there, or if his father was there, his father was absent a lot of the time. His father was out there doing his own thing, and then his mother, okay, Moon. Moon is often representing the mother. The mother was out here. I don't want to say she was struggling, but I kind of feel like his mother was sworn to duty, doing whatever it is she had to do to make money. Okay. I don't think his father was there. Okay. This is just my thoughts. I don't think his father was there. And I think that his mother, because this is Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And so his moon in Capricorn, I think his mother just had to buckle down and do whatever she had to do to take care of Gavin Newsom and the home, right? But with that being said, his moon is in Capricorn. I think he's someone that he has resting bitch face. What do I mean by that? I think he's someone that I don't think he wears his emotions on his face. I think this is someone that you kind of have to try and figure out. And unless he's telling you what he's doing, I don't want to say he can hide his intentions, but I kind of feel like he keeps his cards close. I feel like he keeps his cards close to him. He has a lot of emotional maturity. He can regulate his emotions, but I kind of feel like he's someone again that keeps his emotional cards to his chest. Now, the thing about that is his moon is directly square. Absolute, like it's the same 16 degrees, 16 degrees. His moon is square his sun. I kind of feel like a lot of times he's at war with himself. I think there are things that he wants, and I think there are things that he wants to do. And I feel like he has leaned on this persona of being the public servant for so long that I think he's at war with himself. I think internally he's at war with himself. There are things that he wants and feels, and he also wants stability. Okay. Stability, right? Moon, your emotions, your feelings, right? In Capricorn, I think he always wanted stability. Okay, again, I don't know much about his childhood, but I don't think there was any major quote unquote trauma there. Like there wasn't like quote unquote essay or grape or physical abuse. I don't think there were, themes like that. But I kind of feel like I kind of feel like his childhood wasn't as stable as he wanted it to be. And I feel like deep down emotionally, he has an emotional drive for money. Okay. And listen, this is 2025. You can't do anything without some money. Okay. You got to pay the water bill. You have to pay the light bill. You have to get groceries. You have to provide safe housing, um, fully functioning housing for yourself. Okay. All of the things, right? So we need money to survive. Okay, there's just no way around it. This is not the 1500s, okay? And we are not the Amish either. We need money to survive, and I think that part of what drives him is a deep-seated need for security. A deep-seated need for security. Um and that's okay, right? That's okay. It's part of who he is. It's not entirely his main focus, but you better believe he's about his money, he is about his bag. Okay? He's about his money, he is about his bag. And I think that I'm looking at this trine right here. Okay, this little blue triangle. This is a trine that's 120 degrees, right? So, there's a light trine with Pluto. And I think that this Pluto in Virgo trine, his moon in Capricorn, I think this is someone who he has figured out to use what he can, whatever his talents are, to use what he can to get what he wants. Okay. He's using his talents to get what he wants. And I think part of him using his talents to get what he wants is him stepping into the political arena. Okay. If you have been part of the political arena, um, what was that? He was mayor of San Francisco from 2004 to 2011, if my notes are correct. And then this is 2025. So for almost 20 years, or for over 20 years, you have been in politics. That is a stable bag, okay, getting paid whatever it is that you're getting paid. And then there's a power dynamic too. I kind of feel like he's someone that wants to be in control of his destiny. And I'm not saying that other people aren't, but there's he uses these political positions for stability, for power and control, right? Stability and power and control. Again, I don't know what happened in his childhood, but I kind of feel like there may have been times where things were not the way that he wanted them to be. And he figured out that positions of power give you both money, power, control, things like that. I'm not saying he's a villain, but I don't fully think that him being in these positions was necessarily for the good of the city, the state, whatnot. I do believe there's a little bit of self in there. Okay. And it is what it is. Neptune in Scorpio. Okay, so there are some things that he thinks about. Okay, this is the third house of communication, childhood things. There are some things that he thinks about. And I'm not going to say that he has illusions of grandeur. I'm not going to say that at all. But I think that he dreams about things. And I think he thinks about how far is he willing to go to achieve certain things. Okay. How far is he willing to go to achieve certain things? Now, looking at listen. Mars is in Sagittarius. Mars is in Sagittarius. Okay. Mars is, our planet of action, our planet of taking risks, our planet of I'm going to do some things before I think about them. Lots of action without thinking. This is also sex. This is the penis. This is war. This is being a tactician, right? When you think about war, you're thinking about strategy, things like that. It's in Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius is a fire sign. Listen, I'm not gonna say that he got community dick, but it's giving community dick. This is just me. Other astrologers will have their own interpretations. It's giving community dick. It's giving community dick. So and also not only community dick, there this ambition, drive, power. Like Mars is going to be power too. Mars doesn't want anybody else to be in control. Okay. So, and you have Sagittarius, a sign ruled by Jupiter. So expansion. He has charisma. He has a lot of charisma. He's ambitious. He has drive. He's a tactician. He thinks about things, strategy, right? A little bit of community there. But I would question the motives. Okay, because Mars is in things for self. Mars is not in things for other people. And we just add more fire to the fire. Sagittarius is a fire sign. Mars is our hot fiery planet. Why are you doing things? I would question the ambitions. And I think that, like so many other people, a lot of who he is was formed in childhood. I don't know what he saw. I don't know what he experienced, but I really think he said one day, like, I ain't never doing that again. I'm not experiencing that again. I'm not going through that again. From this moment on, I'm in charge of my destiny. And I think he set out to do that in whatever way he felt was the best way to do that. So I'm looking at I'm looking at you, Mars. I'm looking at you because I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Okay. I don't trust it. And again, in a square to, this is different energy. He presents this grounded, earthy civil servant energy. I really feel like a lot of who he is this. It's his Mars. It's his Mars. I think his personal ambitions are in conflict with this persona that he puts on. All of this being grounded through the earthiness of Virgo. Again, I feel like he is someone that he's been that part of his public persona is, I'm a civil servant. I'm here to work for you for so long. But I don't think it's true for him. I don't think this is a true, I'm going to take the mantle and work for these people. I don't think that. I'm sorry, I don't think that. Again, other astrologers, listen to other astrologers and listen to what they say and form your own opinion. Q is just giving you hers. Q is just giving you hers. Okay. Yeah, again. So his north node is in Aries. His south node is in Libra. Listen, Aries, this is self. This is self. Not only is it self, his north node is in his 8th house. 8th house is our house of death, taxes, other people's money, investments. Weren't people asking, like, what's going on with what was it, the train situation in California? All these different projects or whatever. Again, and listen, I've only been living in California for 2 years, right? It's been my 2-year California anniversary as of like August 28th. So like literally a few days ago, I've been living in California only for 2 years. So those of you that have been living here your entire life, please get in the comments down below and give me your thoughts about this. But didn't I remember seeing something about where this money for this train system is? And then it's just so funny because, like, if you are driving, like, I live in the Bay Area. Okay, I live in San Jose. If you are driving on Interstate 5, going down to LA or even down to San Diego. You pass through a lot of farmland, and listen, you'll see the signs out there. Newsom, what's going on with our water? Newsom, you don't support farmers. Newsom, you don't, all these different things as it pertains to him. And it's just like, I looking at his chart now, I gotta kind of question what's going on with other people's money and the tax money. And I have to ask the question because see, California is, has the third or fourth largest economy in the world, right? There's a lot of money here because there's a lot of people here. California is a very, very, very large state. Okay. We have Texas, we have Alaska, we have California. These are the three largest states in the country, right? So, what's going on here? What's going on here with the taxes and the monies and other people's stuff, and listen, Saturn is weakened in Aries. Okay, why? Saturn is our planet of boundaries, of structure. um Aries is just like, nah. Aries don't have no boundaries. Okay, Aries doesn't have any boundaries. Aries doesn't have any structure. So I think it's been a real challenge for him, at least as it pertains to what I have seen with regard to finances in California and things like that. I think it's been a challenge for him. Okay, a challenge for him dealing with other people's money with the state. Again, I'm not saying he's a crook. I'm not saying anything like that at all. But listen, we just have to call a spade, and Saturn is not weakened. Saturn is weakened here in Aries. Okay, Saturn is not performing at its best. And again, he has a night chart, so his most malefic planet is Saturn. So, and then as a person, like what is his boundaries? Does he have boundaries? What does he consider okay and not okay? I'm not in his personal life. I don't know. But listen, it's just a question. It's just a question. Now, again, a lot of people like him. Remember, I told you his chart ruler is Mercury because his ascendant is Virgo. Virgo is ruled by our good buddy old pal Mercury down here. And then look at his midheaven. His midheaven is Gemini, which is another Mercury ruled sign. So he is seen as someone who is sociable, relatable. He's seen as more of an open person. He's seen as someone who understands, who can make the connections with everything that's going on. So he's seen as this. He's really seen as this quote unquote good person, good politician. And I'm not saying that he's a bad one. I'm not. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, I think that there's a persona that he gives off, and there's energy that he gives off based on his astrological natal placements. And then I think there's a person that we really don't get to see. I think there's a lot of him that we really don't get to see. Like, for example, Donald Trump, you see exactly who he is. And if you haven't, please go back and watch my natal chart review on Trump from like what it was either last year or I want to say it was, yeah, it was like it's sometime last year in 2024. Donald Trump is exactly, fast talking, slick mouth. Unfortunately, he's a taco short of a taco plate. Okay, the rice and beans are there, but you were supposed to get 3 tacos in your taco plate. There are only 2. Okay, there are only 2. And Donald Trump is someone who is about Donald Trump. Okay, Donald Trump be lying to people saying that he care about people. Okay, and listen, Trump care about Trump. He can easily be bought. It is what it is. Allegedly. I'm just going ahead and say allegedly per the astrology. Okay. But I think Gavin Newsom presents himself as astrologically speaking, I think Gavin Newsom presents himself as someone who is safe. And I'm not sure if that's entirely true. Again, I think he is someone who is dedicated. He's skilled, he's analytical, and I believe that he is someone who knows what to say and how to say things to evoke emotion from people. Again, I don't think he wears his heart on his sleeve. I think he has good emotional regulation and he does not let people on to what it is that he's doing. He has secrets and he keeps things secrets, and we can kind of see that here. Again, Mercury is in Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign. Okay, there are secrets there. There are secrets there. But yeah, like I said, I don't care what anyone says. I think Gavin Newsom is there's a persona of I'm a public servant, I'm a civil servant. I think he's in things for himself. I don't think he's grassroots. He's not like what someone would say, like a grassroots, and we're just gonna start from the bottom and we gonna no, no, no. And I ain't forgot about his homie right here. Okay. Jupiter is in Leo. Listen, Jupiter in Leo. I think that with him, with Gavin Newsom, part of he has big king energy. He has big king energy. But the king energy that he has, right? The king energy that he has presents itself as civil servant. But, I think that again, this astrological, and this is like I'm really getting a lot of spirit-led um spirit-led thoughts and emotions as I'm looking into this. And I kind of was getting that before, which is what really took me so long to do this, to look into his horoscope, because I just don't see this man. He's going to expand himself, he's going to expand his reach, he's going to expand his reach, his network. He's going to expand his energy so much to bring people in to keep himself uplifted. Okay? To keep himself uplifted. Listen to 12th house. Listen to 12th house is, we're talking about the house of, endings, death. We're talking about hidden enemies. I think he knows that he has enemies. It would be interesting to see if we, the public, get to see if there are any enemies and he can flush them out. There are hidden enemies in his network. I know the 11th house is really like our house of like our networks, large groups of people and whatnot. But listen, he has established himself as institution. Okay. He's established himself as a political institution. Okay, from mayor to lieutenant governor to governor of California, and now people are talking about potentially, oh, Gavin Newsom, if you run, he'll be great for 2028. And people are so there are some people who are so disgusted with current President Donald Trump that they are willing to vote for anyone. Gavin Newsom knows this. Mark my words, make no mistake about it. He is planting seeds right now. Okay, he's planting seeds right now because for him, I don't want to say he's drunk with power, but he enjoys power as well. Okay, he enjoys power as well. I will say that, so this past year, especially starting last year, like October last year, the nodes, right, and the eclipses have been moving into the Virgo Pisces axis, which I find very, very interesting. So the eclipses earlier this year. Okay, go back to March. The eclipses earlier this year and the eclipses this month. Okay, we have a lunar eclipse on September 6th or 7th, and then we have a solar eclipse coming right on the seasonal change from summer into fall on September. We have the solar eclipse in Virgo on September 21st, lunar eclipse in Pisces on September. So listen, it's going to be occurring on his first house, seventh house axis. Okay, the house of self, um, me, self, the person, and then the seventh house is our personal relationships with other people. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not saying that, something bad is going to happen to him. I'm not saying it at all. But it will be interesting to see, because we are in eclipse season, it will be interesting to see how these eclipses, okay, may or may not bring change to Gavin Newsom, especially because it's hitting him on the angles, right? This is angular, right? So, um, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I will definitely keep my nosy self tapped in to quote unquote the news, right? To see what's going on or whatnot. Um, much better, much. I'm not gonna say it's much better because I mean, and this is just a side note. These eclipses are going to be occurring, like I said, in Pisces and Virgo, but for Donald Trump, they're going to be occurring in Donald Trump's eighth house. Donald Trump has Pisces eighth house, Virgo second house. So it's going to be real interesting to see what, if anything, happens as far as the president and looking at things with what's going on with our country. So I say that to say again, we'll see what happens if anything. I mean, something could happen with these eclipses to Gavin Newsom, and it can just be deeply personal, and we just won't know, right? We just won't know. Or it could be something that's public, right? It could be something that's public, right? So again, we'll see. I'm gonna make sure I stay nosy. I still have my Twitter account. I'm over there nosy. I'm on all the things. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Threads. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Reddit. Like I'm always keeping my ears to the streets to see what's going on. So again, I really feel like I think and I feel that there's a Gavin Newsom that we see and there's a Gavin Newsom that we don't see. Um yeah. Personally, I don't trust it. Um I don't trust it, right? But that's just me. I could be completely wrong. That's just me. So, what do you all think about my astrological assessment of one Gavin Newsom, the current governor of the state of California of the United States of America? What do you think? What are your thoughts? If anyone watching is a California resident that has lived in California all of their life or for a significant amount of time, 5 years, 10 years, and you have more information that you'd like to share, please get down in the comment section and let me know because, again, you know, I think that I think there's more to him than this hero that he's being propped up to be. So, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And yeah, let's go ahead and get the conversation started down in the comment section. I will see you all in the next video. I love you. Be safe. Bye-bye.